Hello, I am the gaming atheist, and I love to comment on BionicDance's channel. Now, when I say that my mother has explained to me how she is able to believe yet not believe in a God, it's because of this. When my grandmother actually, I'm sorry, I'm trying to remember facts straight. I want to say my mother's mother, but anyways. My grandmother, before she passed away, I was a baby. I was just maybe 2, 3 months old. And my mother was at my grandmother's deathbed. Now, my grandmother, she was very ill. She had lung cancer. And it was not going to end well for her. So, on the last day of her life, everybody was there that could be there. All of her children, including my mother, and as well as my grandmother's husband. Well, as she was close to dying, my grandmother started to, I don't know if I want to say she started to hallucinate, but she started to say that she was afraid. She was afraid because she was seeing gates. She was not sure what was happening, and she was starting to hold out her hand out, and she was, starting to lean up in bed actually. And my grandfather came to her side and started grabbing her hand gently. Now, what I can remember, because my mother told me this long ago, so, and I've got problems, and medical problems, so I can't exactly remember shit. But she was saying that my grandma started saying, look, Gerald, it's God. He's beautiful. I'm afraid though. I'm afraid to go to him. So, what he did is he started holding her hand a little bit tighter, and he started to pull her a little bit, like he was giving her away to God. And she started to smile, she started to smile. And she said again, he's beautiful, thank you. And in the room was a priest and a nun. The nun was doing her thing with the rosary. And soon after this happened, not very quickly, but soon, maybe about, I think my mother said about 15 minutes, my grandmother started to die, just pass away. But she seemed very peaceful. She didn't seem like she was in pain like she had been. And what happened was, after that, my mother, she couldn't believe it. Now, the next thing that happened, the second thing that happened to her in her life rather, was actually several months before this. My mother didn't know she was pregnant at the time, but she had my brother already. He was about to be 7 years old, a couple months, or 6 years old, excuse me. And they were driving along, and my brother said, Mommy, you're going to have a baby. And my mother said, no, that's not possible, sweetie. I can't. I'm making sure I can't. Well, my brother said that he's Jesus told me. Jesus told me you're gonna have a baby boy. And that's something that always bugged my mother because she couldn't believe it. She was on the pill and all this, she was made sure she couldn't have a baby basically. And lo and behold, she ended up becoming pregnant. She started seeing the signs. She understood what was happening and she couldn't believe it. Now, the reason why she says she can not believe in God at the same time is because of what's going on in our world right now and what has gone in our world in the past with Hitler, what's happened with slavery, what's happened, and all this shit basically. Okay? And my mother can't understand or doesn't know why these people are allowed to be evil. If there is a God, why isn't he doing something about this quicker than he does? Why was Hitler allowed to do what he did for years before the war ended? She doesn't want to believe in God because of that. But yet her faith in the way she was raised is so strong, and because those two events I said before now are reasons why she says she believes in God, because how would all this stuff have gone on if there was no God? How would that explain my grandmother for what she saw and what happened? Because the priest and the nun, they've never seen anything like that before. They even said it. We don't understand what just happened. And my big brother saying to my mom, I'm sorry, I'm really befuddled here. Saying to my mother about my birth, what my sex was gonna be, stuff like that. So, I know you're probably gonna try and pick apart this, but I figured I'd let you know how it's kind of able to be a believer of God and a disbeliever of God. My mother's proof of this because she doesn't know, but she believes in God. She believes in God. She believes in some of the things that happen in the Bible, but not everything. She's questioned the Bible herself while she was growing up. But I'm just going to cut this off here. I said what I was going to say. So, whatever, Sorry for the bad quality. Sorry for the interruption. I'm in a lot of pain, so I didn't want to just redo all this. Anyways, that's how my mother believes in God and doesn't believe in God at the same time. It's quite possible. At least to me, at least to her.